Hello, my freaky darlings. Welcome back. This week, I'm exploring the creepy and hauntingly beautiful island of Poveglia, which is a small island situated between Venice and Lido in the Venetian lagoon. Now, here's a particularly fascinating little tidbit. Visits to the island are strictly prohibited. I shit you not. You're not allowed to set foot on the island without a special permit. That's how fucking creepy this place is. So, Poveglia has a long and dark history. The island is first mentioned in Chronicles of 421, when people from Padua and Este fled there to escape the barbarian invasions. In the 9th century, the island's population began to grow, and in the following centuries, its importance grew steadily, until it was governed by a dedicated podesta, which I think is some sort of governor or something like that. In 1379, Venice came under attack from the Genoan fleet, and the people of Poveglia were moved to the Quadeche. The island remained uninhabited in the subsequent centuries. In 1527, the Doge offered the island to the Camalodelese monks, who refused the offer. From 1645 on, the Venetian government built 5 octagonal forts to protect and control the entrances to the lagoon. The Poveglia octagon is one of the 4 that still survive. In 1776, the island came under the jurisdiction of the Magistrata alla Sanite, so basically the public health office, and became a checkpoint for all goods and people coming to and going from Venice by ship. In 1793, there were several cases of the plague on 2 of the ships, and as a result, the island was transformed into a temporary quarantine station, but this became permanent in 1805 under the rule of Napoleon. And as the plague spread through Europe, the death toll on Poveglia grew into the tens of thousands. And the island basically became a dumping ground for the diseased and dying. People would just be dumped on the island and basically left there to die. And the hospital and quarantine station was closed in 1814, but those who died there still haunted, apparently. In 1922, the existing buildings were converted into an asylum for the mentally ill. And we all know the stories of what happened at asylums, especially in the early years of psychotherapy. So a doctor allegedly experimented on patients with crude lobotomies. And according to some, the doctor jumped from the bell tower in the 1930s after claiming he had been driven mad by ghosts. Decades later, nearby residents claimed to still hear the bell, even though it had been pulled down long ago. Then, in the 1960s, it was used as a nursing home until its closure in 1968. In 2014, the Italian state auctioned a 99-year lease of Poveglia, which would remain state property, to raise revenue, hoping that the buyer would redevelop the hospital into a luxury hotel. The highest bid was from the Italian businessman Luigi Brugnaro for €513,000. He planned to invest €20 million in a restoration plan. The lease did not proceed because his project was judged not to meet all the conditions. Other sources suggest that the deal was annulled because the bid was too low. Brugnaro initially fought the cancellation of the lease, but after he became mayor of Venice, he renounced any intentions to the island. In 2015, a private group, Poveglia per Tutti, was hoping to raise 25 to 30 million euros for a new plan to include a public park, a marina, and a restaurant, a hostel, and a study centre. But since the island is still vacant, I'm guessing that didn't happen. So, even though it's illegal to set foot on the island, you can always try to bribe a water taxi driver to get you there. So, a group of tourists, I'm guessing, did something similar to that because they had to be rescued from the island after trying to spend the night there. Apparently, they got scared shitless once it got dark and just couldn't handle it. So they ran to the shore and started screaming for help. Luckily for them, there was a boat nearby who heard them screaming and called the authorities. So, if you had a few million euros to spare, would you buy the island? Or if you're poor like me, would you bribe a taxi driver to take you to the island? Now, I might risk it just for a day, because some of the photos I've seen of the island and the old asylum, while incredibly creepy, are also quite beautiful. And I would actually love to see it for myself. But I'm not so sure about spending an entire night there. Would you? So that's it for this week. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit the like button and share it with people who are also fascinated by some weird shit like mythical creatures, ghosts, urban legends, and things that go bump in the night. Thank you for watching, and until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, and stay away from haunted highlands. But if you do decide to take it, if you do risk it, take some photos and send them to me. Especially if you're screaming your ass off. Anyway, bye.